Big names in entertainment have a new place to play.
It's so exciting. It's such an honor to be able to open this room in the city of Irving.
We're just really ecstatic.
A longtime vision of the city of Irving is now reality. The Pavilion at the Toyota Music Factory is open, and we are taking you inside.
And things change every day, things change every hour.
Hurricane Harvey evacuees are finding help in Irving. Hear from some of the volunteers lending support.
Are you showing off for the camera?
Imagine going in the funnest place and then you have to mind your P's and Q's.
Class is in session for puppies. Find out what these adorable animals are learning and wait until you see their recess. Plus plans to extend the Campion Trail, the newest destination that will be accessible from DFW Airport, and experience a game inside a bubble. It's Bubble Soccer, and this is City Source. ZZ Top is the debut act at the Pavilion at the Toyota Music Factory. Hello and welcome to City Source. I'm Thomas Gandy. A look inside that brand new facility is coming up. But first, our update as Irving helps Texas recover from Hurricane Harvey. The city shelter that had been operating at Lively Point Youth Center is now closed. At its peak, about 150 evacuees stayed there after being flown here from the Dickinson and Port Arthur areas. The few that were remaining are now in other accommodations. A lot of city departments responded to help, including getting the students enrolled in Irving schools. At last check, 10 of the evacuees are planning to make Irving their new permanent home. The city's Department of Housing and Human Services is helping them with the transition. We have a series of reports on the local response to Harvey. First, public safety. Members of Irving's Code Enforcement Department traveled to the coast to help with building inspections. About 24 Irving firefighters also responded to help with rescues and other important tasks. And we caught up with an Irving police officer who also journeyed south, and he told us all about the technology he used to help his fellow Texans.
My wife laughs because she says I have too many hobbies. You know, I got photography, to learn how to play guitar, and fish tanks and drones, I guess the latest thing.
One of Irving police officer Chris Qua's hobbies proved important when the state needed him. He flew drones over damage caused by Hurricane Harvey. He worked with other members of the North Texas Unmanned Aircraft System Response Team. The state dispatched them to Missouri City, southwest of Houston.
We started looking at doing damage assessment. We started inspecting the levee systems.
The levees, though damaged, did not appear to be at risk of failure. But their mission was just beginning. A tornado struck the city.
We did a sweep of an area of the tornado path and found one of the buildings that actually had a wall that had been knocked down. But the business owners, they still operated normally. They were seeing sunlight come through the ceiling tiles and not even realizing that they're in potentially a very dangerous situation.
Authorities ordered the evacuation of the building to avoid further danger. In some of these cases, helicopters had already surveyed the areas.
We flew through with our drones and we were actually able to find damage that the helicopters had missed just a couple hours before.
Qua says that's because drones can get a lot closer to what they are trying to photograph. Another benefit, they are also a lot more cost-effective to operate.
With the drone, we're really just charging up a couple batteries.
And all of this video he and his colleagues shot was streamed live to the Emergency Operations Center.
We just live streamed the footage back to the engineers so they can determine what their next course of action would be.
Those are some of the reasons he sees the potential for drones to be used more and more in the fields of public safety. Already, he has been a part of exercises in which drones were used to locate suspects fleeing into wooded areas. And there are more real-life examples as well.
It happened in Grapevine when the father had crashed his boat and then the child was lost for a few days. The drone teams were out there using thermal technology to try to find the child, and it wound up helping them a whole lot. While
he may be part of missions like that one in the future, for now he is proud to have been a part of the response to Hurricane Harvey.
I think the part that impacted me the most was just how grateful everybody was. They just saw an out-of-town cop and they would stop doing what they're doing, take time out of their day to thank me for coming down there.
His hobby and experience put to work to help the state recover. In addition to city departments responding, several local charitable organizations held drives to collect items for the victims. The Irving Circle of Prayer collected so much that the group had to seek extra space to store it all. On the afternoon we stopped by, members of the Grand Prairie Airhawks baseball team were there to drop off items they collected, and employees with American Airlines were there to help sort the donations.
Yeah, I'm really blown away by, you can see all the help that they've given the community. Definitely unloading it thing by thing gives you a great perspective on just how much people care and how much they want to help out our neighbors.
The DFW Humane Society at the Animal Care Campus served as a drop-off site for donations for pets staying at the city shelter. The team there collected more than they needed, so they are sharing the donations with other animal rescue groups helping out pets of storm victims. At the city shelter, helping the evacuees was a team effort. Irving employees and the American Red Cross joined together to operate the facility at Lively Point. We talked with a couple of the nurses volunteering their time.
I am a nurse. I'm volunteering with American Red Cross.
I'm from upstate New York, a small town called Gansver.
I'm from Louisville, Kentucky.
My husband and I both have joined the Red Cross locally, and we're just at a point when we got the call for volunteers to go out, we were able to do it.
These are personal care bags. These are comfort care bags, I believe is what they call. We have the Red Cross blankets.
Tell me a little bit about what your day-to-day duties are here.
The very first thing to do is kind of forge relationships, because you want people to trust you. They're not going to come to you with any concerns until they know they can trust you.
As a nurse, your services are in high demand here, I'm guessing.
Yes, however, because this is not a Red Cross shelter, they have it staffed with fire department paramedics. So we're kind of an adjunct to them. So they've done a lot of what we would normally have been doing. But that does free us up to do more kind of case management things. People had to leave their homes without their insulin, their glucometers, they just grabbed and ran.
What are these particular cots used for?
This one area is for evacuees or clients that have some medical needs that maybe need a little closer eye by the nurses.
And you work with the Irving Fire Department on that, on
Yes.
medical calls?
Yes, we do have 2 EMTs on staff here 24/7.
I'm sure you encounter a lot of heart-wrenching stories. Give me a sample of what you hear.
I think a lot of people, they either want to talk about it or they do not want to talk about it. But the ones that will talk about it, I think it's kind of a healing thing for them.
We had to leave by boat. The water came to here, to the waistline. So we had to get my mom out. We had to flag the helicopters down and get people to come in with boats to get us out because the water was just too high.
Kids, I'm talking to the kids really, they want to tell, they want to talk. And so one little girl keeps talking about the frog that she was watching trying to swim up current. Like the things that they focused on, it's just, I was on the roof waiting for somebody to be rescued and an alligator swam by, I heard that.
They didn't have e-strollers. They had one high chair, I got a high chair and 4 strollers.
We had an employee that actually donated the high chair.
Tell me about the partnership you've seen with the city of Irving.
It's been amazing. Like I said, I didn't know what to expect, but the services that have been provided here are just phenomenal.
Irving has been amazing. I had the pleasure of meeting the mayor and the manager and everybody the other day. I still am in awe at the response of the city of Irving for people that weren't even residents of Irving. They lived 5-6 hours away.
They have activities for the children, which is a huge thing because these parents are just overwhelmed, they're worn out.
What kind of help are you getting here?
Basically everything. They're making sure we eat, they're making sure we have clothes, they're making sure that we get medical attention. So they're doing an excellent job over here.
All the residents have bonded together and they've kind of formed a family and they are helping each other out.
Everybody's just being pulled together as a family, whether we speak in English or we speak in Spanish. The language of helping and love and being there for people, it's all the same language. One of the things that I voluntarily did over here, because I'm also a licensed stylist, I voluntarily cut everybody's hair in here.
So you said this is your favorite area?
This is my favorite area. I know every dog by name. The pets, that's a whole different story. It's really very comforting. I will tell you right now, I would hate to have to leave my dog behind. They've just done an amazing job. Amazing.
You form personal relationships with these evacuees.
I have. And so now that some of them are starting to go home, or family from other towns, other states are coming in to pick them up. Part of me is sad because they're leaving, but I know that they're not living here. I'm not going to live here either. I just want them to be okay. And so I'm happy that they have the opportunity to move on. There's some people that are still wondering where they're going.
What's your hope now?
My immediate hope is that I could stay here until these people got relocated, that I've formed relationships with. Unfortunately, that's probably not going to happen because we have bigger needs in larger shelters. But my hope is that as long as these clients can stay at Irving, that they'll continue to receive ultimate care.
As you're watching the weather, watching TV, you see Irma out there.
Me too.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking, number one, oh my gosh, am I going home or am I going to Florida? But I will say the conference call we had the other day, they made it very clear that they're not pulling Red Cross workers from here to go to Irma. There's a lot of work here to be done. I wonder how just as a society can we deal with two if this happens again so close together. It makes me sad.
What motivates you to make a difference?
Well, I'm just doing what I would want someone to do for me. It's a life-changing experience for me.
We appreciate everything they're doing around here for us right now.
Good to hear from them. And if you want to help, agencies say money is generally the most helpful thing at this point. The American Red Cross, Salvation Army, and Irving Cares are among those collecting monetary donations. Now to another big story. The pavilion at the venue now known as the Toyota Music Factory is now open. The first week of shows had to be canceled or rescheduled because of construction delays. But thousands of people turned out for the first performance, ZZ Top. This report is part of our ongoing series, Investing in Our Future.
The house man said, well, you guys are the first in here and do whatever you want. You're in Texas.
ZZ Top takes the stage, the first act at the Pavilion at the Toyota Music Factory. This opening night is part of a vision the city of Irving has had for more than a decade. Starting with this vacant land and then moving toward this groundbreaking.
All right. This is an attraction that's going to bring people from all around North Texas, even the country, into Irving.
This is really a great day for Irving.
Irving needs this.
That's actually the stage. Isn't that exciting?
Over the months of construction, we heard more about what leaders see as the potential of this entertainment venue.
It is going to be transformational, not only for our urban district, but for the entire city as a whole.
Now that the pavilion is complete, in advance of the first show, we got a tour to see how reality matches that vision. The city of Irving owns the music factory. The Art Group is the developer. Live Nation runs the pavilion.
We're just really ecstatic, just off the charts, really.
It's such an honor to be able to open this room in the city of Irving.
What's your favorite feature?
Obviously the doors are pretty incredible to be able to open and convert this room from a 4,000 seater to an 8,000 seater at the touch of a button is very special.
We sped it up here, but in real time, the conversion would happen in about 2.5 minutes. The raising of those doors allows for outdoor seating. And there are other unique features of the pavilion.
Here, imagine how cool it would be to just walk up to this bar and get your favorite beverage and still see the band on stage.
And this is where all eyes will be focused. Right now we're on stage where such acts as Chris Isaak, Chris Rock, Harry Styles, and more will be performing. Promoters say the venue's flexibility is key to attracting a wide variety of acts.
As promoters, to be able to have this flexible capacity so that literally we can sell out every show we have.
This room is so flexible, from 2,500 to 4,000 to 8,000. There are configurations, and the whole floor rake's clean. Every seat in here can be removed, and you can roll in automobiles for a convention if you want to, that maybe would be partnered with the Irving Convention Center.
The pavilion is the first phase of the $200 million Toyota Music Factory, which will include an 8-screen movie theater and about 24 restaurants and hotspots.
Now you'll see another place open, and then another place, and culminating in everything being open in about 5 or 6 months.
Here, it's all in one place. And so we feel like that's going to communicate really well with people once they realize all the options that they have just on this campus.
We also got a peek inside some areas of the pavilion not everyone will get to visit, from backstage to the artist lounge and the VIP Toyota lounge, where we heard one more thought on the impact.
Benefits for the city of Irving will be unimaginably huge.
All as this once empty land fills up with entertainers and people enjoying concerts. And you can see more of the pavilion at the end of today's show. The Art Group reached a 10-year deal with Toyota for the naming rights to the music factory. Here are just a few of the upcoming events. September 19th, Steve Winwood will perform. September 23rd, it's Sin Bandera. September 24th is Chris Isaak, and September 27th is Kiss. Again, there are many other performances. For a full schedule and tickets, visit thepavilionimf.com. We have big news for cyclists and joggers. The city is moving forward with another extension to the Campion Trail. Dallas County is granting the city $2.5 million to extend the trail about 2.6 miles from the point you see here. It would go past MacArthur Boulevard and into the city of Capel. Irving's capital improvement team says the work could start next month and it will take about a year. The city is also looking at ideas to connect the northern and southern portions of the trail. News on that could come late next year. In addition, the city of Dallas is planning to connect to Irving's Campion Trail at Trinity View Park. That could also happen next year. Travelers will soon have nonstop access to Reykjavik, Iceland. DFW Airport announced WOW Air will begin seasonal service to Iceland starting in May of next year. The airport CEO says Reykjavik is a popular tourist and business destination. WOW is considered a low-cost carrier with one-way fares that could start at, get this, $100. But expect some fees on top of that. WOW will provide connecting service to other cities in Europe and the Middle East. It will be the 16th international carrier to serve DFW Airport. In other news, people who need the help of a service dog can find help at Canine Companions for Independence in Irving. Getting those dogs ready to go to work takes a lot of effort. We visited the campus where puppy class was in session. It's time for puppy class.
Welcome, come on in.
Eager students are arriving at Canine Companions for Independence for today's lessons. The puppies are in training to be assistance dogs. The people...
These are our volunteer puppy raisers, and so they get an 8-week-old puppy and keep them for a year and a half, and during that time they come to classes and lay a foundation. Anytime you hear the word good, you know that you're on the right path.
Part of the class involves teaching the volunteers. Here they are trying to figure out what people mean with one-word commands.
Good, good, good.
It's an exercise that can help teach them how to better communicate with the dogs.
They have no clue what you want them to do. They're just following your cues and listening for your verbal praise.
That communication is important because the volunteers are responsible for teaching the puppies 30 commands before they get advanced training with a professional.
This is Albie, and he is almost 16 months old.
Kelly Harrell is raising her first puppy.
I didn't really know what to expect, but it's been really nice to see some success. You know, you do a lot of work and then you see a puppy learn something.
Okay, so visit is what we would call, are you showing off for the camera?
One of the big challenges here could be keeping puppies focused. After all, it is school.
Puppy class is usually the hardest place for them to maintain control because they get to come here and see all their friends.
I mean, it's sort of like, imagine going in the funnest place and then you have to mind your P's and Q's.
And sometimes your dog's going to be the best in class, and other days your dog's going to be the absolute worst in class. And that's just how it is.
They all bring personality. You can see that some are eager and some that need a motivational nudge.
There she is. Very good, very good.
Canine Companions is looking for more volunteers to raise puppies. It just added these new daytime classes for puppy raisers.
We have a lot of puppies on their way to Texas that are looking for volunteers to raise them. And it's a really great way to volunteer and be able to really make a difference in somebody else's life. I love that you stopped when she got unfocused.
Like any class, this one comes with homework.
She's a slow chewer. It is a big commitment. It's a lot of time and energy. You know, it's basically a full-time new creature in your life. It's kind of like having a toddler that you're constantly teaching and potty training and teaching new commands to.
But there's also recess. Enjoy a moment of puppy playtime. But the hardest part comes when the games and all the lessons are done.
I know. I thought it wouldn't be that bad, but now I'm starting to think it might be a little harder than I thought.
As we saw at a graduation ceremony we covered last year, it gets emotional as the puppy raisers hand off the dogs they bonded with to the people who need them.
When we go into this, everybody says, how can you give these dogs up? And indeed, it's difficult. I say we cry a whole bunch on those days. But you know that going in, that indeed you're raising this dog to help someone.
But I guess that's really what you want them to do is try, teach them, and then maybe they soar and hopefully they help somebody who needs it.
In the meantime, they are enjoying the lessons and the experience of being a puppy raiser.
He's been a real joy, by all means, but they all are.
We have children, and it's been nice to teach them that sometimes being part of charity or giving things is more than, like donating soup cans. It can be something real.
They hope to make a difference in someone's life With a four-legged friend, they're helping to give a good start. Yeah, that story was a lot of fun to put together, and we have a follow-up to bring you in the weeks ahead here on City Source. In the meantime, Canine Companions is gearing up for its annual fundraiser, Dog Fest Walk and Roll. Along with the walk, there are games and contests for people and their dogs. This year's Dog Fest is on September 30th at 9 a.m. It's at Canine Companions, which is at 7710 Las Colinas Ridge. Learn more at cci.org. Now to a sport you have to see to believe. Some young people, along with our camera guys, had a great time checking out bubble soccer at Mustang Park Recreation Center. Take a look.
We're trying to target the 10 to 14 years of age group here. We usually do a lot of dinner and movies, but we wanted some action. We wanted the kids to interact with each other, so we thought bubble soccer would be a great opportunity.
Tell me, what are you doing out here today?
Well, it's a long story. I don't really like talking about it. It's kind of date night.
I actually really didn't care about the ball. Like, I hit him, he went flying, then he hit me. I went flying, it was really fun.
Yeah, and you can look for that program to be offered again on the park schedule at cityofirving.org. The entertainment series of Irving will be previewing its upcoming season, and there's a cool reason to check out the preview. The group is offering Sundays on Sunday, September 24th to be specific. It's in the lobby of the Texas Musicians Museum starting at 2 p.m. Organizers will be sharing information about upcoming concerts and events, which include tributes to John Denver and Elvis, among others. The Sundays and preview are free, but admission to the museum is $5. Keep Irving Beautiful is gearing up for its annual Trash Bash. It will be on Saturday, September 30th at T.W. Richardson Grove Park, and it always features fun activities along with the cleanup. Sign up at keepirvingbeautiful.org and look for Trash Bash on the left side of your screen. And with that, it's time for our Pets of the Week. Here's JP Zavala at the Animal Care Campus.
We're at the Animal Care Campus with Michael Whiteside. And Michael, who's this?
This is Pickle. She is about 3 years old. She's only been in the shelter about a week, so she's still a little bit timid, but she's really sweet and she just wants to cuddle. She's shaking a little bit now, but I think it's just, being held in front of the camera and the lights, but she's very sweet. She came in as a stray, and we did notice that one of her legs has been bothering her, so she's going to the vet this week to get that checked out, but it's possible that she might end up being one of our guardian angel pets to help cover the cost of any medical treatment that may be needed.
Yeah, she seems like a really sweet dog. She seems to be very, very calm, but she's nervous.
Right, and definitely, a shelter can make any dog nervous, especially a dog this size, and she is small. She's probably 5 pounds or less right now. But she's an adult, she's full grown, so she's gonna make a perfect little cuddly dog for somebody.
All right, Michael, and this handsome guy is?
This is Ronnie, and don't tell any of the other pets in the shelter, but right now Ronnie's one of my favorites. He's a 2-year-old Italian Greyhound mix, and he is so friendly and so wonderful. We actually had a group come in last week that's part of the Adult Therapeutic Day program for City of Irving, and Ronnie went in to meet them, and he was so gentle with all of them. I mean, dogs kind of have that sense anyway, but he was just a hit. Everybody loved Ronnie, and Ronnie loved everybody. There is a note that he's probably not going to be good with other dogs. I haven't really seen that personally, but that's something that they have noted. But he's just fun and friendly and ready to go all the time.
it's easy to see why he's one of your favorites. I mean, he's just, it's just a good-looking dog. He seems to be very, very calm and, like you said, very friendly.
Definitely. I mean, he definitely has some energy, and when he's panting or has his mouth open, it just looks like he's always smiling. So he's always kind of got this perpetual smile going. But he is very handsome, and he's just a lot of fun to be around for sure.
All right, Michael, and this big friendly guy is?
His name's Mr. McGee. He's about 2 years old, and he came in as a stray to the city, and then we pulled him over to our side, and he just recently got over a cold. But as you can see, he's definitely puppy. Even at 2 years old, he's definitely got a lot of puppy tendencies. He's, we think, probably like a Labrador mix. Maybe, he's obviously a chocolate color, but he's got some of the spotting at the front. He's just real handsome. And he has a lot of nicknames. I just heard somebody call him Meathead. He's been referred to as Big Lug. He's just kind of a goofy, happy guy. He's going to need a little bit of training, obviously, but, he also just needs some activity to get some exercise because that's just what he's meant to do. And he's still a young guy and is going to have, plenty of time to run around and have a great time with the family.
Yeah, he seems to have a very unique, color scheme on his face, like the spotting. It's very unique.
Definitely, and I think that's one of the things that makes him stand out. I mean, I know I notice him every time I go by his kennel. Plus, he's got these beautiful golden eyes that really pop with the different colors on his face. And so, I really think, probably Meathead, Big Lug probably suits him pretty good, but, we'll call him Mr. McGee for now.
All right, thank you, Michael. And back to you, Thomas.
All right, JP, thanks a lot. The Animal Care Campus is located at 4140 Valley View Lane. It is open Tuesday through Friday from 11 a.m. until 6 p.m. Then on Saturday, the hours are 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. Also, check out the websites you see on your screen. The first place to find a bite and a beverage at the Toyota Music Factory opens. We are covering the debut of Bar Louie next time on City Source. Also, see some cars worth millions of dollars. We are checking out the luxury cars, showing you some of the latest models and some classics. Those stories and more next time. Email us your thoughts on our stories. The address is ictn@cityofirving.org. We may read some of your messages here on the show, or you can always comment on our videos at youtube.com/thecityofirving. And how about subscribing to our channel while you're there? And that's it for this edition of City Source. We leave you now with more from the Pavilion at the Toyota Music Factory. Thanks to everyone who is a part of this one, and thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.